What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Watch Dealers in our Gold Coast boutique here in Australia, the home of the watch industry down under. Today we're talking the holy trinity of hype. I'm Lewis, one of the directors here at the Watch Dealers, and I'm joined by Callum, who's our sourcing manager. So let's take a little time and talk a little watches. So, guys, welcome back. And here we are today talking the holy trinity of hype. We have a selection of the most sought-after pieces in all of the watch industry. These are the most highly requested pieces that we get here at the Watch Dealers. But first, I'll introduce you to Callum. He's our sourcing manager, our head of sourcing here in Australia. Callum, what's on wrist today?
Hey guys, so today I am wearing my Panerai GMT. Panerai is my all-time favorite brand with the blue dial. Looks good with a blue suit, white shirt, so had to throw it on today.
Nice, looks good. And for me, I'm sort of going with the trend that we're talking about, that integrated steel sports watch hype piece. I have a bit of a quirky piece. It is my personal Royal Oak, but a Bulova Royal Oak. A little bit of a weird story about the design from Gerald Genta, a name we'll probably hear a bit today. Designing this Royal Oak silhouette, and then Bulova making a claim to it in the early 80s. So I've got one of those on today. So, yeah, Cal, tell us about the watches that we've got. Which three pieces have we got here on the table?
We've got three super iconic pieces, the most iconic integrated sports watches on the planet. We are starting with the 15202 ST Royal Oak, the 5800 Nautilus, and the 4500V Vacheron Constantin Overseas.
Awesome. So tell us about the Royal Oak. What do guys out there need to know about what could be the most iconic watch in all of the industry?
Yes, so as we know, the Royal Oak was designed by the man himself, Gerald Genta, back in 1972. That was the first reference, I believe, was a 5402 ST, which was a 1,000-piece limited production. And to this day, 1972 till today, you look at a 5402 ST, it looks like it just came out the factory. Very little has changed over the time, and it just goes to prove how ahead of the game and how forward-thinking Gerald Genta was back in the 70s.
And so that piece there, that's something that people might not know. This is considered the first luxury stainless steel watch. This was usually in the realms of luxury was gold and precious metals, and AP or Audemars Piguet went to Genta and said, we want to create a luxury steel watch. What can you do? And out of that came the Royal Oak. What are we seeing with the Royal Oak in terms of market trends and pricing compared to retail to grey market?
I mean, Royal Oak, any of these brands except maybe Vacheron. Vacheron is trading a little bit close to retail at the moment. Even their dual time, the blue faces, you're still going to pick them up around the retail price on the grey market. With the AP Royal Oak, the 16202 reference, which is the most popular, it's just replaced this one, that is still trading at a massive premium over the list price. The Nautilus, historically, it's always been way over retail, and it's probably going to stay like that forever.
And so for retail pricing on an AP Royal Oak, you're looking in that realm, for Australian dollars, in that $40,000 range?
Probably 40 to 50,000, depending on the model.
That's right. And then to pick up an example like this is a 2016 model that we've got in stock, and you're looking at the mid-90s, possibly 92 to 93,000 at a push. Sure. So it's a huge jump on the retail price that we see.
For sure. I think that AP, I mean, we've seen a lot of market corrections happen over sort of the last 12 to 18 months, and AP's come down to a reasonable price point. I think these were trading almost, 150,000, if not more.
Yeah, crazy money.
In terms of Australian dollars, and now they've dropped back under that 100 mark. So we've seen the potential, we've seen where they can go, where they have been. So if you're in the market for a piece, it's buying season, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. And then so we'll move on to the sort of the granddaddy of them all in terms of luxury, almost group brand style watches, even though they're not a group brand per se. But Patek Philippe in terms of a high volume.
Yeah.
Higher volume, not an independent like an FP Journe or even a Shaken or someone like that. We have the Nautilus, which is, again, a Gerald Genta designed piece.
Yes, Gerald Genta. So the Nautilus was first introduced in 1976. Then again, it followed because of the demand for luxury sports pieces in stainless steel. So the trends were changing, and quickly Patek Philippe followed AP and they had Gerald Genta come out with the design of the Nautilus, and it's the same thing. The Nautilus still looks the same.
Yeah.
It's changed very, very slightly. They've upgraded movements and things like that, but from an aesthetic standpoint, it's pretty much the same watch, which just goes to show how good Gerald Genta was in his forward thinking of design.
That's right, and we do see a bit of a difference here with the Royal Oak to the Nautilus. The Nautilus, in pretty much all of its iterations, is a very thin watch. The Royal Oak can be quite thick, even in its standard time-only variants.
Yeah.
We have here the Jumbo, the ultra thin, which is more comparable to a Nautilus. But the Nautilus, people are often surprised, and customers that come in and purchase these with us are often surprised at how thin and delicate they do feel, which is something that you don't expect coming the stainless steel integrated sports category.
Exactly. I feel like that's a trend with Patek. It's almost a cross between a dress watch and a sports watch, which I sort of like.
Yeah, they tread that line really nicely.
Exactly. So you can always mix it up. You could wear it for a multitude of occasions. It's a dressy but sporty watch, and the thin case design just helps it roll under a long sleeve. So I think that's a big benefit of having the Nautilus line. So.
Absolutely. But then again, we talk about the pricing. $50,000-$60,000 watch goes into the $150,000 to almost $200,000 range instantly day one.
Yeah.
And so, these are very, very exclusive timepieces that, they're trading multitudes above their retail.
Exactly.
And then, look, I know you love this piece. I'll talk a little bit about it because I love it too.
Yeah.
The Vacheron Overseas, like you said, this is probably the best value in this category. This is a watch that we saw skyrocket up to the $80,000, $90,000 range when they were retailing at $30,000. And then Vacheron, following the recent trend of people like JLC, massively pushing their retail prices up, have pushed this up to $41,000 Australian retail. We're selling this for 41,000 Australian dollars, and it's brand new. So these guys, you still can't pick them up in stores, but they're trading at their retail price, which is really interesting. Tell us about the Overseas.
So the Overseas is a direct descendant of the 222. We all know the 222. It's been reintroduced in solid yellow gold. So we can see how the design has sort of carried over into this piece, but this is just a more modern rendition of it. A little bit more beefy. It's got a quick change bracelet, which is the only one out of the Royal Oak and the Patek. So I think that's a huge plus, having that bracelet. I think the Overseas is completely undervalued. It's got a two-part bezel as well. I think that's very underlooked when we're comparing any of these pieces. I think it's aesthetically one of the nicest looking integrated sports watches you can get. It's just a shame they're not tracking as well as AP and Patek, because I really do think the value proposition is there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, with that quick change, you actually get included leather and rubber straps with your purchase, so you have 3 options day one out of the box, which is cool. The only criticism I do see of people talking about the Vacheron is that perhaps there's a little bit too much Maltese cross in the design. I mean, you've got the Maltese cross bracelet. It's sort of referenced again on the bezel. There's a lot of that going on with the Vacheron. If you like that design, great. The value is going to be here, and I would push people towards a Vacheron Overseas, even though it's going to cost less money as a dealer. That's a sin, but no, I definitely think get the value for the money, get that really modern stainless steel integrated sports watch from a super luxury brand. Vacheron's an old brand doing things very, very well. You're getting Geneva Seal hallmarks. You're getting incredible workmanship.
Yeah.
That's a really cool play. Out of the 3, though, mate, which one are you picking?
Out of the 3, I'm picking the Vacheron. I'm sticking true to my heart. I buy what I like. I don't buy to invest. I'll put it that way. And to me, the Vacheron, I've been around these watches a lot, and that's the piece that speaks to me the most. Yeah. So my pick is going to be the Vacheron. And to be honest with you, I prefer the black dial to the blue, so I'm going with a 7900.
So this tempts you.
It tempts me. If it was a dual time, it'd probably be on my wrist.
Yeah, the dual time's cool. So yeah, I'm similar. I think I love the Vacheron, but there's something about this Royal Oak and the ultra thin I find a little too thin for myself. I have that sort of similar issue with the Nautiluses; they're too thin. But a 39mm 15500, I think it is.
Yeah.
With a little thicker case, I think that's where I would go.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the other thing with AP, the offshore line already has interchangeable bracelets. So I don't know why they can't add that down the line to the Royal Oak line and
Start adding rubber and leather options.
At least do what VC does.
Yeah.
You know, they've already got the technology there. They've just got to integrate it into the case of the Royal Oak,
Yep.
and then I think they'd really pick up sales. And you know, I'm a big strap guy, so
That's a great point.
it
That's an
appeals
awesome
to a
point.
lot of people.
Guys, let us know in the comments what you think. As always, like, subscribe, do all those things, but just let us know in the comments. What are you picking? A Royal Oak, an Overseas, a Nautilus, or is there another ultra luxury, maybe a Chapek, that you think in that stainless steel integrated sports bracelet is worth the dollars that they demand? Let us know, and until next time, take care.